All right, everyone, this exciting video here is going to talk about the five-part real estate agent business model, where we break it down in five parts on this blog. So if you like what you're going to hear, if you like what you received, please subscribe today. That way you'll be alerted the next time some video comes out available that can help grow your business. So let's take a look at these different five parts. There's a lot more information. All the details are on the blog. So let's start off with lead generation. So many times, when I'm talking to real estate agents, one of the things that they are looking for is more leads. And so right away, they want to generate more leads and they find out it's burnout, or maybe they're spending too much money, not converting enough. And a lot of times when I first start working with a real estate agent, because what I've seen over the last decade or 2 decades that I've been in this business, that I've generated roughly about 50,000 leads, and that lead count is constantly climbing. Because a lot of times a real estate agent doesn't need actually more leads. They just got to get a better conversion system. So lead generation is important though. So once you optimize your lead conversion system, and in this blog, we go over all the details on how to do that. And if you like some more information about maybe just feedback and taking a look at your lead conversion system and how you're optimizing it, please feel free to reach out. I've been doing this for quite some time, so I can really see the maybe some blind spots, or maybe there's a few things that we can do to make some adjustments in your lead conversion process. So that way you optimize on what you currently have. And what that does is it brings down your spending, because sometimes we think we need to spend more money to make more money, which is a very true concept. However, if we're not optimizing the leads that we currently have at the highest level, and trust me, this is something that I constantly work on, optimizing. We're always looking for ways to actually get more out of what we currently have. That means we're constantly working on our business, right? We're not working in it all the time. We got to find time to work on it. So when I work on the business, I'm finding ways to actually help to improve the conversion ratios, right? So that way, when we start to spend more money in marketing, what happens is as we spend more money, we convert at a higher level. And in turn, it makes investing into your business, or even if I was investing into another real estate business or real estate agent's business, right? It makes it more profitable. So, and then it makes it fun and exciting to do it because things start to work, right? Things that maybe weren't working in the past, now they start to work. And it's because the authority-based lead generation, this is where, you create authority in the marketplace. And when there's authority in the marketplace, people want to be led by somebody that has authority. You just got to ask yourself this question. Well, Oprah, does she ever do any cold calls? No, you just want to be the Oprah in your market, right? Oprah is, has branded the name Oprah in a way where everybody knows her name, right? So you just want to be the Oprah in your market, and that takes authority to do that. And sometimes I would even encourage you to do a few things to brand your name. Sometimes it's just starting making videos, right? Content videos is a great way to start branding your name. But what comes along with that content video? We can give you all the information on what kind of videos to make. And that way you can start making these content videos, such as maybe you should be working on educational videos. But once you start putting content behind that and educating the clients, and then I would say, the content alone is not going to convert the leads, right? The number one things that's going to convert the leads is the phone calls, right? So making all this marketing stuff without the sales part behind it doesn't really do anything for you. But what it does do is it does create the authority in the marketplace. You get created as the Oprah. So when we do follow up with those leads, they're more likely to pay attention to what you have to offer. They're more likely to pay attention to, hey, if they're thinking about buying a home, they're more likely to sit down with you over some coffee to see how you're going to best help them solve whatever they're looking for. So creating that authority in the marketplace is super important. We could spend hours talking about, how you can create authority. I've written books about it. I've actually wrote a book with Jack Canfield, right, as a co-author. And that's one way you can create authority in the marketplace, right? And you don't have to be a co-author with Jack Canfield, but you can maybe just be your own author and publish it on Amazon. That's just one way you can create an authority in the marketplace, in addition to making videos and video follow-up and posting on social media. But it's more about not posting just regular posts on social media. It's the video content and what you're posting out there that's going to draw in your followers, which are you're going to be your buyers and sellers. And I would like to also emphasize on how important it is to make a blog like this and email all your leads right after you make this video content. Email your leads with the video content so that way they have higher engagement. And that way, when they're thinking about buying your home, the only thing that's playing in their head, that radio station that says, what's in it for me, they start thinking about you when they're ready to buy. And as you call and you follow up with them, guess what? They're just more likely to do business with you, right? Because they already looked at your videos. They already done some research about you, right? So that way they feel more comfortable working with you. And, we have ISAs, it's called inside sales agents. And if you need some help with following up with your leads or anything like that, if I find like teamwork really helps out in this process. And that's where another way that you could create authority in the marketplace was where you actually have a third party person calling on your behalf, right? Edifying you, uplifting you. So as you call them, they feel extremely comfortable now talking to you, right? See, what I realized, it's not just myself that calls these leads on calling and saying, hey, talk to David Delgado, but I have a third party. Well, they're our sales team, right? Our sales team calls and they uplift me. So when I do talk to them, they're already pre-sold on doing business with us, right? Because I had somebody on my real estate team uh, call that referred that business over, right? So that real estate team member, that business partner, we call them partners, right? So that business partner, that's essentially like on a real estate team. And these team members, they work at various different types of real estate companies out there, you name it, right? The brand from the real estate team is, I would say, not so much important. The important, what people do business with is you, right? You're the brand. It's not the Remax or the Century 21. And I'm not taking anything away about where you work or anything like that. I don't want to downplay that at all. But what people care about is how much you care about them. That's why people do business with you. And that's why we need to have some sort of authority in the marketplace. So when we're calling those leads on your behalf, or even when you're calling and you're uplifting me, well, that's the power of teamwork, right? So when I have called on your behalf to create more authority for you, and then you are calling on those leads saying, hey, if I was buying a home and if I had to get financing, I would definitely use this guy, David Delgado. What you're doing is you're uplifting me, and we're doing the same thing with the real estate partners. So that way they feel totally confident and using each other, right? And that's the key. That's the real key in this. And if you're out there just letting the client do whatever, then you got to ask yourself this question. Then what kind of authority do you have in the marketplace? They really want to do what they want to do until they figure out what is the right thing to do. And that's where the real estate agent has a big role to play to actually guide these people. I see top agents, telling them, hey, these are the mortgage companies I would use if I was buying a home. And the same thing, if you're using escrow or title company or attorney, doesn't matter where you're at. It's like, hey, here's the escrow company or title company that I highly recommend, because you got to think about it like this, right? Everyone wants to close on time, and real estate agents, they want to get paid on time. But more importantly, I understand your paycheck is important, but what's really more important is your client, right? Because if you're like me, I want to get that review. I want to make sure that they refer me future business. So I want to do a very, very good job for them. And that means if you have a certain title company that can go the extra mile for you, or an escrow company to resolve situations before they even happen or as they happen, and make exceptions to what you need as a real estate agent, including your clients, doesn't it only make sense that you're going to do everything you can to convince the buyer that this is in their best interest, right? Because these are people that you have relationships. And the moment you start explaining it that way, what starts to happen is they start to realize, well, we can't do that with the current lender we're working with. Or I'm glad that you're recommending your lender like that. or I'm glad that you're recommending your title company like that, or your escrow company, or even your home inspector, right? Would you want them to use their own home inspector that they just pulled out of their phone book that they have no relationships with, right? And if maybe you're watching this video for the very first time and you don't have a home inspector, I've got a Rolodex. It's an old term that we use, old timers like myself, right? Old timers like myself, we have Rolodexes of professional home inspectors and termite companies that we can highly recommend, right? And that's how I talk to my clients. It's like, hey, did your real estate agent talk to you about what type of home inspector to use? Did your real estate agent talk to you about a termite company to use, right? And if they're not too sure, then I want to give them those choices because these are people that are going to stand behind me in case something happens to their home. The worst thing can happen is they used seller's home inspector. So many times I see today that, hey, the home was already pre-inspected. Think about that. Pre-inspected by who? The seller's agent? Do you really want your client using the seller's agent, or even worse, not knowing who did the inspection? Of course not, right? I hear it time after time again. They purchased this house, they use the seller's termite company, and they cut corners. Well, I mean, I hate to say it, but that's what happens when we allow our clients to fall into that trap. So that same trap can really happen in mortgages too. Like, even though they have great credit and large down payments and they have the ability to pay, but you never know what can pop up. We never know, right? But a good loan officer is going to have the tools to overcome, right? Overcome any type of scenario. They're going to have the tools, the contacts, the relationships. And that goes for everybody involved in that purchase transaction, right? Number two, so that's authority in the market. There's way more than just generating leads, as you can tell, and there's more that's posted on our blog. But number two is automate that follow-up system that just never sleeps, right? Today we use AI, and if you need a CRM, we give you a free CRM. It doesn't cost you anything. We even build out a social media campaign, get it all plugged in, dialed in for you. Well, check this out, a CRM that can automatically respond to any type of social media post that you post on social media, or they reply back to one of your emails or text messages. And guess what? You have AI now responding back. So that way it's not waiting for the next day, right? People want instant gratification. I remember when years ago, I used to say, hey, as long as I can respond back in 5 minutes or, somewhere around that time frame, I'm good. And even before that, I was like, hey, I could just respond. And I've been doing this for 2 decades now. If as long as I can respond in 2 hours, I was good. But what happens is technology has changed the game, right? AI is even faster now. So people want instant gratification fast, right? So that's the benefit of having a CRM. And we provide the CRM free of charge, no obligation. Like, you can just take it, run with it. You don't have to use this as a lender or anything like that. It's free. It's for all of the real estate agents out there because we really want to help you guys grow your business. And AI can actually help grow that business much faster because now you have leads that are coming in. Just last night, we had a lead that came in, and the AI is communicating with them, and the client almost feels like it's just getting the answers, right? And now that we can set up the phone call, even actually offer, right, scheduling appointments right on our calendar, right? And it nurtures a lead. That means it's going to nurture the lead and turn it warm, even turns them hot for us. So that way, as we're calling these leads, guess what starts to happen? They pick up the phone faster. We have built trust faster, right? And that's what's important about the automated follow-up system that we talk about in step two, is that it does that automatically. It doesn't matter what time this happens. It could be on a Sunday night. It's automatically responding back to your leads with AI. Now, having a team system, and keep in mind, I work with over a few hundred realtors, right? And a variety of different real estate agents. And I would say that some of these agents actually consider me as their team, just like I consider you as part of my team. Because, at the end of the day, it takes a team to really focus in and really do a good job for the client. So, when real estate agents, even if you're starting off and you're solo, well, on the buyer presentations that we provide to you for free of charge, we provide this one screen. And if you would like to get access to this buyer presentation, the ultimate buyer presentation that's going to create massive value and really get that buyer to figure out, hey, this is the agent I've been looking for, regardless of how long have you been doing, how much experience that you have in the real estate business. Guess what? We're going to provide that to you for free of charge. So we're going to show you how to create a team, even if you're a solo agent, and show how you can command really the authority in the marketplace to actually make more money and create more value. So if you like some more information about this, feel free. We got step number 4 and number 5 more on the blog. If you like some more information about that, just give us a call at the office. Or if you like just to run some numbers, or if you're interested in partnering up, where we're going to actually partner up with you. We'll even call your leads for you, refer them right back. That's called our referred back system. Give us a call at the office. Phone number is 866-587-6927, or go to our website, freedomchoicelending.com. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.